Hello, everybody. I'm just gonna see if this is better, like a light versus. I think a light is better. Sorry, I should probably have tested this, but there we go. Hi everyone. I'm so excited. This is my first live on YouTube. It's been my first live after a really long time as well. I think the last live I did was in June on Instagram. But anyways, I am so happy to be here. It's like a very cozy setting because I'm in Delhi and it's very cloudy and rainy outside. It's like a storm. So I have my warm light, I have you guys, and I have my coffee. So it's a very cozy Sunday evening for me. Um, and I also have to say, I love my t shirt that says, Love yourself, handle with care. So this is a reminder for you as well to love yourself and handle yourself with care. So, anyways, I think if you don't know me, I am Tanvi. I'm from New Delhi. And Kit Kat says it's raining here too. I just finished my coffee. Oh, so basically, what I want from this live is it's supposed to be a cozy, sort of, friendly coffee chat. Like maybe if you are not able to go outside, if there's lockdown, or you just don't want to go outside, if it's raining, this is like a friendly, fun, high sort of vibe. And we will be talking about mindset, mental health, of course, anything that you guys have questions around. Sohani, hi, Sohani, and hi, Vasanta. Okay, so it's so nice to have you guys here. So let's get started. I have some questions already that some of you shared, but if you want me to talk about anything in particular, then just type it here in the comments. I like this. I can see the comments very easily. So the first question that I did get is how to be more productive. Okay, so productivity is a huge concept, right? There's so many different techniques and hacks like the Eisenhower matrix and habits, atomic habits, deep work, shallow work. There's like literally endless sort of techniques. So I'm just going to share with you what works for me because I think that's what you guys want to know. Anyways, the rest you can find on Google. So for me, how I can be am productive is I set my routine or my schedule in advance. This is what I try to do. Sometimes it doesn't work out, things come in the way. But either the night before or the morning of, I try to do it the night before. I just write down, what are the things I need to do the next day. And then I'll try to put them in the time slots. Um, I'll also try to batch work together. So, for example, if I need to create 5 Instagram posts, I will try to do that all together, one after the other, rather than spread it over the week. Because when your brain is focusing on one thing, you get into the flow, and it's a lot faster. You're more efficient in it. So, if I have to write articles, for example, I'll try to write a bunch of articles together because you're in the writer's mode, thinking cap. Um, and versus if you have a bunch of calls to make or messages to respond to or emails to check, all this kind of sort of running around sort of tasks. These are what is called shallow work, where it doesn't require your concentration. It's just like the little things you've got to do. So try to do them all together. That will really help you stay focused and not get distracted, and keep switching between tasks, because that's a big productivity no. Multitasking is a myth, and seriously, I've even stopped listening to like music while I work, because earlier I used to listen to like fun music that you can sing along to, but that distracts me. And so I realized, either it has to be instrumental or binaural beats, something like that. But definitely avoid multitasking, because seriously it just stresses your brain out because you keep switching and it slows you down so much. And I think there is something else that I do want to say. Yeah, having routines, having some sort of routine really helps, because when you know that, okay, when you wake up you'll do this, and at 12 o'clock you'll do this, and all of that, it takes less brain power of yours, because every single decision you have to make takes power from your brain. So if you want to be more productive, try to reduce the number of decisions you have to make, so that you have more energy to actually do the tasks, if that makes sense. Right. And yeah, so I think those are my top tips. I love to do lists. And I don't get into anything else too complicated, because then I think I focus more on planning to be productive rather than actually being productive, if you know what I mean. So Hani says, share some tips to overcome procrastination. Okay, so procrastination is actually A lot of people think it's like a time management issue, or maybe you're just lazy or you're a procrastinator. This is something that is a lot more deep rooted mostly, and we don't realize. So when if you are procrastinating, be very specific and clear, like what it is you're procrastinating on, and when do you feel like procrastinating. Like, usually when we procrastinate, we've decided, okay, we want to do something, right? Like, we want to go to the gym. Okay, but when it comes to the time to go to the gym, until that moment we think we'll go, but then at that particular moment something happens, right? And we have some thought that says, oh, maybe we won't go to the gym, let's just leave it. Or there's some thought. So identify the thought, that in the moment when you decide to procrastinate, what causes you to procrastinate, and then that thought will help you identify what is the underlying reason. Because a lot of time with procrastination, it's either, okay, you're afraid of something, fear of failure. Like, maybe you'll do the work, but then it won't be good, and so that fear, that sort of subconscious fear, keeps you from doing it at all. Or maybe fear of criticism, like maybe you feel like, okay, you'll do the work, but then no one will appreciate it, so I shouldn't do it at all. These are all subconscious fears. There's also perfectionism is a huge one. So we want our work to be so perfect, and so because we know that, oh my goodness, we have to do this so perfectly, we just avoid doing it altogether. And perfectionism, that's why it's a problem, because most of the time you'll overthink it and you won't actually get anything done. So it's better to just start. Okay, so those are the mindset hacks, like identify what is that fear and then work through that fear, which is, I mean, something we do more on, like my one-on-one mentorship, for example. We can't get into all of that right now, but identify the fear, what is holding you back, the subconscious reason. And then there are some fun tips that you can do, like the 5 second rule, which I really like, is when you count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you decide on one, you're just going to get up and do it. Another thing is to also think that, okay, I'm going to start, just start, whether it's 5 minutes or just 1 minute, just start, and like get the momentum going, and it'll be so much easier to continue. Just like if you, for example, want to hit the gym, then maybe you're just like, okay, I will just wear my shoes, nothing else. And if I wear my shoes, it's good enough. But usually when you wear your shoes, you will ultimately actually do more and go for the workout. So those are some fun tricks that I do. I think usually I just think, okay, whatever it is, even if I do really badly at this task, I'm just going to start, and I don't care what the outcome is. And that motivates me to do it, because I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's even something with YouTube, which I spoke about in my first video, sort of. Because I, for a really long time, had this fear of, like, this perfectionism mentality. So I was like, if I start YouTube, it has to be perfect. I have to make it, like, I have to make the editing super good, I have to make sure that blah blah blah, I have to optimize it all. And that kept me from starting YouTube for 2 years. Ultimately I was like, okay, you know what, I should just do it. Whatever, it doesn't matter, like, just going to do it. And if I mess up, which in the first video I actually had an editing mistake which I didn't like, oh well, no one even noticed, and whatever, at least I started. So at least now the momentum has begun, right? And now I will continue showing up on YouTube like I am right now. So that is a little bit about procrastination. So Sahani says, yes, yes, you're totally right. Yeah. Yeah, overcome it, apply the 5 second rule. You're so welcome. You can read, there's a whole book actually, the 5 second rule. You can read it. So the next question is, how can we implement habits that are difficult to start, like waking up early consistently? Okay, this is so good. Sorry, I need to itch my nose. I have some like allergies and my nose gets really itchy, so I'm sorry if I keep doing this. Um, so habits. With habits, it's so tempting, like waking up early, for example, to come up with 5,000 habits you want to start, or if not 5,000, maybe five. Like, you get this burst of inspiration and you're like, okay, I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to then work out, I'm going to be super productive, I'm going to drink celery juice and blah blah blah. That's too much. When you are starting a habit, you have to understand this one fundamental thing about habits, or like doing anything new, is that, again, it takes a lot of brain power. Okay, because your brain likes to go on autopilot mode. So the habits you have right now are autopilot mode. It's very easy. You don't think about brushing your teeth, right? You don't think about drinking your coffee. It's just a habit. You do it, done. and that takes very less energy. That's good for your mind. So when you're trying to create a new habit, that is utilizing a lot of energy from your brain, and that's why you want to make the habit as small and as easy as possible, because it's requiring a lot of energy. Okay. And as soon as it becomes a habit, you can step it up, because then it's easy, then it's like autopilot, it's done. Okay. So for example, waking up early, what I would recommend is, rather than saying, okay, I'm going to wake up an hour early, do 5 minutes. 5 minutes only. Set it really small. So set baby steps for your habits, and then celebrate it. Because, when you celebrate it and when you realize, oh, I woke up 5 minutes early today, you're releasing dopamine, that reward hormone, and that's addicting. And so the next day you're going to want to wake up 5 minutes early again and again and again, and it sets that pattern in place, right? Because it was easy, and because you celebrated it. Okay. And then after 21 days of doing it consistently, that's when your brain um, creates a habit, and now you can take it to the next level, maybe 10 minutes. Does that make sense? So start very, very slow, make it super easy, celebrate it, and after 20 minutes, 20, not 21 minutes, 21 days, 21 days, then take it to the next level. Okay. And yeah, so that's pretty much the biggest thing about habits that I want to say. But you have to reward yourself, because with every action we take, every habit, good or bad, there's always a trigger, a behavior, and a reward. Okay, so what is the trigger? Maybe like your alarm clock rings, your alarm rings. The behavior right now, the bad habit might be going back to sleep. What's the reward? Extra rest. Okay, so you can't just stop this habit, you have to replace every habit. So the trigger will be the same, the alarm rings, but your new behavior, you want to make it like, okay, you get out of bed. So how will you do that? You need some sort of reward. So maybe your reward is you get coffee when you get out of bed, or you say good job, even something like that. That's good enough. So that will set a new habit loop. Okay, so we have to create a habit loop. So let me know if that helps. And I'm going to, I don't know if I should drink water or coffee, but that's about building habits. And if you have any other questions, let me know. Oh my gosh, my nose is so itchy. I have some more that I have to go through. Oh, okay. So the next question that I have is very, oh my nose. Seriously, I don't know what to do. This is so embarrassing. I'm on this live and I'm like itching my nose. Okay. So the next question that I have is, what is the purpose of life? Let's think about that for a moment. Mm. I will be 100% honest and say I don't know. I just know a few things, and that is, I have for a long time, and I think a lot of people have done this as well, is looking at the future, right? Getting to that one version, or that one day when I get that job, or when I graduate, or when I get those grades, or I get that salary, or I go on that trip, or maybe even the weekend. I'm waiting for the weekend and everything will be great on the weekend. But I think that that's what's really holding us back, a lot of us. So I think the purpose of life is not to wait for that future time, and try to enjoy the moment. And by enjoying, I don't mean being hedonistic and just only doing things for happiness, but really relishing every moment as much as we can. Um, Whether it's just enjoying this cup of coffee, or even being the version of you, uh, of the future self, right? So, like, if you were enjoying on the weekend, or enjoying, that vacation in the future, what would you be doing? You wouldn't just be thinking on while you're in vacation. You wouldn't be thinking, oh, I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. You would be enjoying the place. You would maybe be drinking your coffee. Maybe you would be eating a yummy meal. Maybe you would be listening to music. Maybe you would be feeling the sunshine on your arms. So, can you not do that today, right now? Maybe you can't because it's cloudy right now and it's raining, but you know what I mean? You would be enjoying the feeling of being alive. And so I think that, in a very roundabout way, is the purpose of life. Um, And of course, now I would add nice things to that, like, oh, helping others and, adding value to the world. Sure, if that's what makes you happy. But I don't think that should be um, your goal just because someone else says it. Because, if you're trying to add value to the world or make the world a better place or help others just because someone else told you to, it won't make you feel good, and then it'll just be resentful, and then you'll be doing these things so that someone appreciates you, and then that causes tension, and then you'll get irritated, and then you'll be sad and annoyed and be like, oh, I'm such a nice person and no one appreciates me, and oh, and then it just adds more negativity to the world. So it's better that you don't that you just stay in your bubble and you relax. That's going to add more positivity to the world. So I think that is the purpose of life. And of course, now ikigai has its own concept, the Japanese concept of ikigai, which is very helpful. So find something that makes you money, find something that you love doing, find something that you are good at doing, and find something that the world needs. So if you want something more like defined, then maybe ikigai is the answer for you. But I think for me, it's just, the purpose for me is to enjoy every moment to its fullest. And I'm bad at it. I'm not so good at it. It takes practice. But yeah, that's really the concept. Lasanta says the ideas of building habits was insightful. Take baby steps and appreciate the baby. Yes, appreciate the baby. You always have to appreciate babies. And don't get discouraged, I think, also, because if you think about, a baby who's learning to walk, every time he falls down, or she falls down, I don't know why I see she falls down, you won't say, oh my goodness, you fail, give up. She tries again and again and again and again and again, and one day she's running and walking and running marathons, and it's a happy world. So someone asked me, what kind of experience do you get from your YouTube videos? I'm not sure what that is supposed to really mean. But I think it's challenging me to do something new, get out of my comfort zone, learn something new. But I think the biggest thing is it's challenging me to release my need to be like a perfectionist, because I am not like the number one editor, videographer. I don't have the best camera. Right now, I'm on my computer camera. Um, and so there's all these things that I could be like, oh, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. But I'm like trying to release that need and just be me and post videos. So I think that's my experience on YouTube, and I want to reach more people. But the biggest reason actually why I started YouTube is because on Instagram I'm much more limited in one like specific message, which is about burnout, anxiety, stress, overwhelm. And over here, I'm going to talk about spirituality. I'll talk about coffee. I'll talk about all this random stuff that we are talking about, and any other insights I have really during my life, just to make it casual and fun, because we all like fun. So that is my experience with YouTube, and I think I don't want this live to go super long, so I will do like two more questions maybe. Oh my gosh, my nose is so itchy, guys. I'm dying. That's an exaggeration. I need ice. I'm not gonna go get ice right now. Okay, so what's a good question? Okay, so someone asked me, or well, they said, I worry about little things all the time. How can I stop worrying? So I think this is basically, in essence, another way of saying, how can you stop overthinking? So okay, I see Vasanta's question. I will answer that after I finish this one. So, how can you stop overthinking? So, I think with overthinking, there are two parts. It's not just one thing or the other. There's like techniques or hacks that you can do if you find yourself overthinking a lot, which is number one, distract yourself, which I would recommend saving as the last option, because it's better to deal with your emotions rather than push them away. But if you are really struggling, when you're feeling very anxious or overwhelmed and you're not able to deal with your thoughts, then distract yourself. Like that, it's an option, but put it as the last option. Another thing that's really helpful is to meditate. This sounds so cliche and so like, oh, you should just meditate and the world is beautiful. I know it's not, but meditating actually really helps, and it's very difficult. So if you think that, oh, I cannot focus and I cannot stop thinking, it's okay. It's very hard. But with practice, with time, you can start doing that. um, and it really helps you to get better basically at choosing the thoughts you pay attention to, because your brain is made for thinking. It's going to think, just like your nose is made for breathing and it's going to breathe, right? And so the thing with overthinking is, what thoughts are you giving attention to? And that's what meditation really helps with. And if you ever want any, suggestions, easy meditations, like 5-minute ones, let me know. I've spent like multiple years now finding free meditations on YouTube. So I have some of my favorites. I'm happy to share them. But besides meditating, also, I think another like tip that really helps me personally is brain dumping. So just everything that's on your mind, take out a piece of paper and dump it on the paper. Blah blah blah. I'm stressed because it's raining outside. It's raining. I don't know what clothes to wear. Um, I'm going live and I don't know what to talk about. Write down anything that's on your mind. Say, I don't know what I'm even thinking about, but I'm thinking about something I know. And that helps you organize your thoughts and then maybe solve some of the problems that you realize you can solve that are solvable, right? So that's like the things you can do. But what about overthinking itself? What's the root cause of it? So here, I really like asking the question, so what? Think about the worst case scenario, whatever you're thinking about. Let's say, I have a test tomorrow and I'm scared I'm going to fail. So what? What's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is I will fail. So what? So what if you fail? That means you will get a bad grade in school. So what? Well, maybe that means that I will not get into the college I want to get into. So what? Well, that means I won't get a job. But then do you realize that these things are all, you can easily prove them wrong? Because just because you don't study enough today does not mean that you will get a bad grade tomorrow. And just if you get a bad grade tomorrow does not mean that your entire grade will be bad. And just because you get a bad grade in that one subject, it does not mean that you won't get into the college of you want, or that there's not other colleges, or if you don't get into that one college, that you won't get a good job. That those are all so narrow-minded, right? So ask so what and realize the other options, that you will get into the college. Maybe you'll get a different college and you'll get a different job, the one that you like planned, but maybe it's better, right? Like really, we make such a big deal of things in our brains. And if you just ask so what, you'll realize that it's not that big of a deal, really. Like, so what? Something better will happen. Or even if it happens, I'll figure out a way to deal with it. Right? So that's like the mindset part. And then the practical part is actually doing the things I mentioned, like brain dumping, journaling, distracting yourself, meditating. Okay, so the last question, Kaltuma says hello. Hello. So the last question, Vasanta says, what is your morning routine? Okay, I need to itch my nose again and drink some water, and then I will answer. Mm. Okay, so my morning routine, when I wake up, I need some motivation to get out of bed. So my motivation to get out of bed is coffee. So I know that as soon as I wake up, like I'm gonna go brush my teeth, blah blah blah, go make coffee. Okay, because it's like, oh, it's so nice. And that way I don't fall asleep again or feel too sleepy. It instantly wakes me up. While I drink coffee, I journal and I put out all whatever's on my mind, whatever, I'm feeling, if I'm feeling good, I'm feeling bad, whatever it might be, I journal, I brain dump, whatever worries I have, and I try to switch my negative thoughts to positive ones. And this is all while drinking coffee. This takes like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe 1 hour, whatever really I feel like doing. It's not set. And then after journaling, I meditate. And I don't do this every day, but I do it almost every day. I really try to. And just a short meditation can be fine if I'm running out of time, 5 minutes. If I have more time, even 20 minutes. But I meditate and I realize the power of it. Just doing it every day, it really calms me down. Because if you don't realize, like I did struggle with anxiety in the past, and I do have tendencies to, start feeling anxious and overwhelmed. So this calms me down and relaxes me. And then I set, like, a schedule for the day, a to-do list, a brief plan about what I need to do. I get ready and I do it. Sometimes, like, I might go for a walk, or I might do some yoga, or I might do something else, but that depends more on like what I feel like doing. Like it depends on the month, you know? Like sometimes I like working out in evenings, so I don't do it in the morning. But it just depends. Like it depends on my mood for my life at that period of time. But I always, for the past like couple of years, I always wake up, journal, meditate, and drink coffee while journaling. And there was something else that I forgot. Yes, I do not check my phone. Well, I do sometimes, but I hate it when I do. So I really try not to check my phone, no notifications, because that instantly, I don't know, it just puts you in this blah state of mind. Because if someone else says something bad, it's you have to react. If they say something good, then your day, I mean, that's good, but then you get used to basing your day on someone else's reactions. And that's not nice. Deal with it later. So, yeah, that's my morning routine. And it's very flexible. Sometimes, like on weekends, if I want to journal for like 2 hours, or if I want to meditate later because I have time later, then I do it and I'll just listen to some nice, like, YouTube video or podcast or something that's inspirational. So yeah, that's my morning routine. And Call Tumas says, how's life going? Life is going well. I am in, yeah, I love this live, and I think we will do this more often. If you have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will be signing off, um, because my nose is extremely, extremely itchy. As I said, I think I'm like allergic to something. I'm not sure what, but yeah, it happens. So yeah, thank you all for joining. Whoever you joined, I hope you enjoyed this. I guess we don't have any more questions. The others that I did get on Instagram, I will just cover them later. So yeah, have a beautiful rest of your evening, Sunday evening. Take care, and